Hey there, hunters. Welcome back to Squee-El's gaming channel for more Wild Hearts today. This is technically my episode 2, but it's going to kind of be an in-between video. I've got another video today of a little bit of monster hunting that I did, trying to get some of this gear you see me wearing. It's just going to be a quick and easy clip going up the same day as this one, and then I'm going to do a follow-up clip probably in maybe 2 weeks or so where I take on some of the endgame monsters. I am close to the endgame here. Good time jump since my first video. I'm not quite to the end game yet, but there's a couple different things I wanted to show you guys before we get into more monster hunting. First of all, I finally unlocked the town, as you can see here. I'm not going to spend too much time here. There's not a whole lot to show. There's kind of just a couple things I want to point to you guys' attention. First of all, that's your blacksmith right there. You can forge any of your stuff at your own blacksmithing bench, but this is the town blacksmith, this lady right here. And you can fast travel right over here, so it's convenient. But what I wanted to point out in this part of the town is this lady back here, because I wasn't aware of her at first. Later in the game, you have to talk to her to repair parts of the town, but also you can talk to her to upgrade the town as well. Let me skip through what she's saying. It's not really important. But you can also add additions to the town, like I was saying, which cost a good bit of money. And it takes a good bit of money, so you're going to have to be grinding a little bit. Maybe she doesn't want to talk to me. There we go. Okay, so you can request more town repairs. I've already started. This will be my third time, and this will be my third new building constructed. So I don't know. Yeah, you need 6,000, which is a lot. And you don't really get much money in this game, I've found. And you need a lot of money to forge certain armor and equipment. So there's a couple side quests that'll give you a little bit, but I found the best way is to just stockpile resources and sell them at the town merchant, who is this person right here, 3 dots here at this fast travel point. Any of these little arrows you see in Minato here, the town, are places you can fast travel. And it's convenient too, because it even shows you on the map what you've built. So all these little like gold icons here are things that I have placed. I'll show you guys the house real quick. You can build in Minato as well as any of the other maps, so I thought that was kind of interesting. There's not much point to building tents here. But these 3 things right here, these are like passive resource gatherers. So I put a couple of those here in town. We got a couple beast cages. The beast that was in this one is missing. And so is this one. So I can only assume they died when one of the giant birds attacked the town, because he was kind of right here in this area going on a rampage. He clears out this entire pad here, and you have to rebuild it. But this is your house. You come in here, there's not much to it. You got this little top floor where I put a bath. The bath isn't something you get till later on. I'm going to go into all the little different things you can build individually once I leave the town here. But there's a fridge. There's my forge. There's the bed and the fireplace it provides for you in your house. Normally, you'd have to build your own fireplace, but you don't. And then there's this here, this mirror. You get this later on. This is how you can change your character's appearance if you don't like what you did in the beginning of the game. The catch is this mirror can only be built in the town here, basically in your house. You cannot build this mirror out in the rest of the world, so keep that in mind. But yeah, you got a nice little drop off here. There's a little training zone down there they hook you up with. And that's pretty much it. You have all your NPCs you need to talk to in the town here. The only other thing I would recommend is setting yourself up with some of these zip lines. In fact, they've kind of become my favorite thing. This is what I would recommend. I have 2 zip lines here in town. This one here, I mean, you can bypass most of this with fast travel, so you don't really need the one I just went across. But normally when you come in the town, you end up right here. So I built a zip line to get from one side to the other, and then I also built a zip line going straight up there, because the only way to get up here is you got to go like the long way around. There's an annoying staircase, and you got to do a big loop-de-loo. But basically, there's a couple NPCs over here that you'll talk to from time to time, and I found it's a real pain to get up here by foot, so I just made a little zip line. But we're going to go ahead and move on now. I'm going to start back in the area that we were in the first video, which is this right here. And I'm just going to kind of go through, and we're going to do a little montage of me showing my bases and maybe talking about a few of the things that I built. This is going to go on my base showcase playlist, so it's going to be a little different than the other content for this game, but I did want to do a little video for it. As you can see, there's the second island here, which I just reached at the end of the last video. Kind of got this island. Then there's the canyon here, the third area. And then there's an icy fourth area here. Now, I just unlocked the 5th area here, which is the Sacred Mountain. Really, the only thing that's here is the endgame boss, which is apparently a dragon. He's the only thing I haven't really fought yet, minus some of the variants. As you can see, when you get in later into the game, you do get variants of your various creatures. So, like, we fought the Ice Tusk, I believe, in the previous video. But there is a mighty... Or, I'm sorry, he's called, what's he normally called? He's not called the Ice Tusk. He's the regular boar thing. The Great Tusk, or whatever. Yeah, anyway, but there's an Ice Tusk, which is an ice variant to him. And then there's also the mighty versions of every monster, which are basically the same, just a stronger. So most monsters have their base version, a mighty version, and then like an elemental version. And I believe there's one more tier that probably unlocks after I kill the dragon. So, but yeah, we're going to go through these one at a time, and I'm going to show my bases, and I'm going to try not to rant too much more in this video. You can pick whichever of your camps that you've established to spawn at. So here we are back at the starting area. This place might look a little familiar to you guys, minus the fact that it's raining now. That's a side effect of the last boss dragon being around and needing to be hunted. But let's just start going through the base here. I'm right outside the tree trunk here where the rat first attacks you when you first start. And I just want to show you guys something that I've been doing that I don't think a lot of players are doing because it's kind of out of no, like it's weird. But I've been building walls with these guys. And you'll see a lot of these in my bases, so I just wanted to point them out. The only catch to these is you have to be careful. If you use them for walls like I did, you have to be careful how you build them. Because if you build 2 stacks of 3 like this, but if they were actually connected, like the rest of these 2 stacks of 3 would create a wall. So you don't want that. Because the wall that it creates automatically will disappear over time, and when you come back, this wall will be gone. So you have to keep it like this. That was a little learning curve that I hit. But I like doing the little walls. Now these resource boosters, these are what I mentioned in the town. I've got kind of some of these on every map. Every resource you build, or every, you have your basic, your dragon katakuri or whatever, which these are the things you summon on the fly. That's how I built the walls over there. You get a bunch of tools later in the game, which we'll go into, which are more used for monster hunts, but those don't count. But what does count is all this stuff. Now, if you look at every item here, I'm not going to go through the entire list. You guys will get to see pretty much all these items in one way or another. I've built them all. Minus this little extra wind chime here, which I just got, so I'm curious about it. So I'm just going to put it up on this little rock. Maybe facing the other way, and then this is how you build stuff. Ta-da. And I've got a little wind chime there. I've got a couple of those around, but that one's apparently different somehow than the one I had. But, yeah. Go in the camp here. You can build a sign, write stuff on it, but you can only read the sign by interacting with it, so it's not as cool. You've got your tent. Now this, you want to throw down a tent basically everywhere you build a base, because this is actually how you fast travel to that base. So... and these trees here, these are kind of all over the place. You want to keep an eye out for these because you can build a little well thing here to any tree you see in the environment, and it'll refill your health potions when you come up to it. Now we got the fridges here. This black and red fridge, what makes it different from the other one is the black and red fridge can be accessed by other hunters, whereas the plain fridge here can only be accessed by you. So if you want to be generous and have maybe some storage, some food sitting around for other players, that's how you would basically give the stuff to them. And then you got your little fireplace here, which this is how you play online and start going on hunts. If you don't want to do it from your map, it's really kind of pointless, but that's another way to do it. These little guys here, and this little thing right here, you can pickle ingredients. This is actually something I haven't done yet, but these are all food prep stuff, so you'll be using that for your cooking. Got a little desk and a bench, which you can sit on the bench. These are kind of just cosmetic. There's another cage here. You can see there's actually an animal in this one. I got a little bunny guy in this one. And then I kind of closed up the back door here because there's not really anything back there with more walls, as you see. Nothing really comes in your base, but I just kind of did it as added security. And then that just leaves this device right here, the watchtower. You can use this to search the map for kimono, the big beasts, and it will reveal their locations, but it has a limited range. So here's what you do. Let me show you guys. If you look at the map here, these big blue circles, these blue circles are the radius of the tower. So as you can see on this particular map, I have 4 towers here. One being down here where I'm at, and that's this circle right here. So it's showing me this guy right here, the Onyx Shard. But then, there's a Fume Beak up here, a Mighty Fume Beak. He's out of range, so I wouldn't be able to see him with my tower. So in order to get the whole map scanned, you need to place your towers accordingly. Like, I kind of spaced out my tents and my towers So I have pretty good coverage of the map. I want to be able to spawn kind of a little bit of everywhere so I can be close to most monster fights, and then towers spaced out accordingly so that once you scan, they can see the entire map. Because once you hit one tower, all of your watchtowers are scanning on that map. So I can see basically everything on the map except maybe this tiny little corner over here, which nothing's going to be over there. But that's just another little tip for you guys. Let's go ahead and start going through the bases now. This is the first base. Of course, you can build a camp at any one of these locations you see, really anywhere near it. You can build a tent, and you want to upgrade these. So if you look at my my stuff here, like I was talking about earlier, I kind of cut myself off, but you see like there's a little yellow fire, or an orange fire, a yellow leaf, a blue drop of water, and a green little thing of wind. And then you look on the side there, and you have all those bars. All these things I'm building take one resource from one of those categories, and you have a max. So once you hit the max, you can no longer build any more of that specific category. So like the cage here takes water, and as you can see, I'm maxed on water, and it's telling me that I'm 10 short to make this. So I would need 10 more to be able to build this right here. And that little yellow shard at the very bottom there, that's just for tents, basically, so for fast travel. So that's, you're going to really want to upgrade that stuff. And how you do that is either you go around the map and find all these locations, and that'll help a little bit, these red things. But then you can also upgrade each one individually. Now, the first, when you're playing earlier in the game, you're going to be able to get to your first upgrade pretty easily. But then the third one on, they take larger crystals, and you don't start finding those until later in the game. Basically, all the small crystals that you're finding in the earlier chapters will be swapped out by larger crystals in the later chapters. And that's how you'll continue to upgrade your camps and stuff. But let's go ahead. I've got 4 camps on this map. Some of them are given to you for free. Like this one, if you're doing the story, they might have like an extra camp. So I've basically built 3 camps on this map. We'll go over here to my second one. It's kind of like a little forest camp. There's really nothing special to this one. It was one of my first camps built, and I didn't really spruce it up much more since then, as you can see. These are kind of my basics here. All the items you see here, minus the rack, these are like the basics. Some kind of fridge to store food, a watchtower, a forge for tweaking your equipment, tent for spawning, and then this is, I don't even really need this, but I kind of just build them anyway, just because, you know, you can start a hunt from any camp, basically. Then you come out here, and there's a little, kind of right off to the side of one of the paths you come through here. Now let's go look at this one. This is one of the camps that was given to me by an NPC when I was playing the main quest. So I haven't done, or no, I'm sorry. This is actually, no, this is a camp that I built. The next camp is the one that was given to me. So this one I built here. It's another really simple camp, but it's a great location because a lot of the monsters and stuff spawn down there. This is an area probably most of you recognize. But this is right here on the edge. That's where this camp is. You fight the King Tusk here early on, I believe. So camp number 4 here. This is the one that was given to me while you're hunting the Earthbreaker in the campaign, the big bear monster. They build this camp in order to basically watch him. And I walled it in, so there's no easy way up here, and that's pretty much all I did. There's one of those trees there. And then I built a grapple, just kind of a quick way to get away from the base real quick. And that's pretty much it for the first map. Let's go ahead and head to the second map, the Isle, this area here. Alright, we're in the second area now, in the first camp. This is the camp that you start with. It's actually kind of a good little starting location. Here's another one of the new things. New for you guys, for what I've shown. This is a little fishing boat. It will passively gather fish for you, just like some of those resource collectors back there. And then once you collect the fish, these things go out and they will fish in the nearby shore. The only thing is you have to place these in water, and it can't just be any water. There actually have to be fish in the water. And sometimes it's kind of hard to tell if there's fish in it. So it's kind of a little bit of trial and error placing that stuff. But we got another basic setup here. I'm kind of just wanting you guys to see the layout of some of my bases. I even kind of make little makeshift gates like this. Ingredients. I'm going to collect all those later. That little boat over there will take you back to Minato, the main town. It's just kind of there, attached to this base, which is cool. Now here's what I want to show you guys. A lot of the times I just fast travel from one base to the other, but later in the game here, I started trying to connect some of my bases a little bit more. So this here, I don't really use this, but I want to show you guys what it does. It's a launcher. Just kind of shoots you. It's a good way to get a little head start. You can increase its range and put random items on it to launch too. Now these grapples here are a game changer. I have 2 currently. I believe there's 3. One which requires the yellow leaf resource, and then I have another one which requires water. I'm tapped out on this map, so I can't build anymore, but here's something. These are really good because sometimes you'll come across a broken bridge trying to get across it, or you just want to get across something, or up a mountain, like so. Very helpful. But I've started using these to kind of connect some of my bases a little bit more. Not all of them, especially in the later maps, but that's the first base, okay, right there. So I grappled up here, and then later on I found out you can make bridges with these. The only catch is they want you to jump, like automatically when you're standing on it, because these are those bouncy platforms, so make sure you don't jump off, and keep that in mind if you build some of these for yourself. But connected that grapple basically to that grapple. Capture card issues. So we'll follow this one over here, and you can stop yourself before you reach the end. Sometimes it'll just kind of catapult you way farther than you want to go if you don't slow down, and I would be flying off that way, and it kind of defeat the purpose of this thing. But next grapple. So this is grapple number 3. It's going to take me over here. And then now that I'm over here, I've got a grapple here. A little bit harder to get to. But this one's going to take me over here to where I have yet another camp. Now this camp I just built. This is my most recent camp, so haven't done anything with it other than a watchtower and the grapples. But the reason I built this camp was originally I had a camp built atop this mountain here. And that's where this grapple comes in. This grapple is a little older. This is kind of when I first started doing this and realizing how useful the grapples can be. But I'll show you guys where this goes real quick. You got a little second level there. Then it launches you up here. Now my capture card should behave. This game definitely needs a patch. Some of the visuals are a little spotty. Even though this is kind of a cool area, you don't really want to build your tents or really much of anything in big open areas like this where kimono are known to be roaming, because they will destroy your stuff. Sometimes even by accident. It's just there and there's a fight and they destroy stuff. So keep that in mind. After I realized how useful the grapples are and then I could pretty much get up here whenever I wanted, I decided that that camp down there was a little more central. And it helped me with my whole grapple system. So, but yeah, that's that. So then we come over here. Now this is the camp that they give you on this map. I think there's about 1 camp on every map where you kind of unlock it through questing and doing stuff with the NPCs, but I kind of totally skipped over this at first. I didn't even notice this. It's a very central little hidden location, and I've got one of these wheel things here, which I'll show you guys that in a minute. That's another new toy. And I thought this was kind of cool here. There's not much to this base. I didn't really need another base by the time they gave me this one, but there's a little tower up here. Built a little bath. Random stuff. I guess we'll go ahead and soak real quick. The baths can heal you. There's also a hot spring in the main town. And those have different restorative buffs and stuff, but I haven't really started digging into upgrading the baths and whatnot much. Now this little device over here that you guys saw is kind of like a little wheel car. It's really convenient. It's more useful for me on the 3rd map following this one, but I'm just going to drive it around real quick, show you guys. This thing will destroy if you try to drive it into a kimono, so just be aware of that. But it's actually pretty fast. It's not as good as getting around with the grapples, but you know, being able to drive around like this is pretty useful. And then whenever you go back to the original post where I grabbed this thing, it'll be there again, so you don't have to worry about bringing it back or losing it or getting destroyed or any of that. Jeez, that's getting annoying. Alright. And now that that is that, I've only got 1 little camp left on this map. And this is another newer camp. I'm probably going to build something here eventually. This camp is another one I didn't notice at first, because as you can see here, this is quite the view. I'm atop one of the tallest mountains on the map. Technically, that's the tallest mountain. I did try to build up there, but you can't build past a certain elevation, so you cannot build up to the top, even if you could reach the very top. I got pretty close. I got to like that 2nd or 3rd little ridge from the top before realizing that wasn't going to work. But this mountain here is located over here, and if you have the glider, you can pretty much get anywhere in this general vicinity from this mountain pretty easily. You can see I got some of the basics here. There is a way. It's not too hard to get to this mountain. There's a little path that you can follow up here. I didn't take the path. I don't even remember how I got up here, but the path starts right there. So if you're looking on the map, it's like kind of back here, even extra hidden. But then you see you follow a little stairwell, and then you're up here on the mountain. So you got to kind of come to the back of the map. You can get up there. It's a great place to build, honestly. I see a lot of people probably wanting to build up here if they realize this was even here. Minus the fact that it's a little funky up here. As you can see, like the ground is not lining up with my feet at all. It's going to do that with some of your structures too. I originally had my tent over there, but I didn't want it like totally floating, so it's over here where it's only kind of floating. And then you got a little rock up here, which had a sword in it, which was a collectible, so you can grab that if you guys want. But yeah, that's the second island. Moving on to the third. Here we are in the third area. In the camp that you start off in the third area, it's kind of similar to the first area. You've got another cave base, except there's no back door. These bases are really nice because you can kind of fill them up, and you don't really got to worry about anything attacking them or getting in because it's already pretty isolated. But, you know, I got the basics here. Another little wall, as I like to build. And then you come out front here, and you get a little yard, kind of. You can build stuff out here, too, if you wanted. I've got another little wheelie car, which so I can pretty much just take off from here and then go. That wheelie car can kind of take me like up this path here if I want. These are down bridges, so there's no easy way to cross this river. But yeah, I can pretty much just ride the car straight on up here, and that was my plan. Now on this map, let's see. I believe this is the hidden camp over here that you get. No, actually, I don't. This is a hidden camp. But an NPC doesn't give you. In fact, I think in the third and fourth map, instead of the NPCs unlocking the hidden camp for you, you basically just have to find it. But basically, you could come here, and I found this camp last on this map, so I already had my 3 tents, and I was at my max capacity for building tents. But because this is the special camp, it allows you to basically build a free tent here. It costs next to nothing. So you don't have to have much to get this camp going. Kind of a cool little area here. And then I've got this camp. Which this camp is in a pretty cool location. It's basically just got the basics. But I really like the little view here. There's this kind of autumn look. There's a little pond with a waterfall, some fancy stacked stones. I just thought it was a real nice little visual here. And it's a good kind of middle point in the map. Got a little garage for my little wheel car there. And then got a little bit more going on here with the grapples. Not a whole lot, but basically just kind of a way for me to get across the map here. It's not as many grapples as before, but take this one down and it'll drop me here. And there's another grapple, which this one got deactivated for some reason, so I basically just got to fire it again. I believe monsters can actually, they can't destroy this thing, but like if a monster comes over here and destroys this, it'll break the line, so I'll have to reconnect it, and that's probably what happened there. Normally, I have this little area kind of connected. I have that one there, as you see, and then up on that ridge is where my other base is. And normally, I have one of the grapples coming down here. So you basically get off that one, walk over here, catch another one. But I think since I fought something in this area recently, it destroyed both the grapples. Speak of the devil, there's something around here. Oh, a spine glider. Yeah, you can't fast travel during combat. Go figure. So I gotta get away from this guy. Now this is my main base on the third map. This is kind of where I started getting a little fancier with my bases. This is kind of just a random little, like, temple-like ruin type thing I found. Big monsters do like to roam around in this area a lot, but so far no one's come over here and really done any damage to my base. They get close, but so this is a decent location, and if not, you've got another little setup, kind of like what I got going on there somewhere around here. I think it's farther over that way, but it's basically the same thing. Yeah, you can kind of see it over there on the other side of that yellow tree. But it's the same type setup. You could do the same thing in there if you didn't like this exact spot. But I've got all the basics. Got another little critter. Yeah, there's a bird in there. Some doors, all my fridges, all the fancy stuff. But you come out here, and this is where I had that zip line that I was trying to use to get up here. But yeah, as you can see, we were just down there, so my other little grapple connects somewhere more or less over there. So I think this time I'm going to have this one shoot like right in front of the house there. So it's a little closer, and then I could go down there and get to the other base, and that's this map. I kind of like this map. I think each of the maps kind of goes with a season. You have like spring, summer, and then this one's fall, and then the next one's like a winter type theme. So I definitely favor the third and fourth maps. But let's go ahead and go to the fourth. Here we are in the fourth area, and starting off in the base it starts you with, and once again they kind of hook you up with a nice little cave base. Got all my basics going, my doorway's built as you guys can see. There's two ways to leave this base. That way kind of being the main way, and there is a nice little hill to slide down once you go out the front door. This little back door actually does go somewhere, unlike one of the previous bases. It'll kind of lead you through a cave system, which is kind of will creep up through here and pop out up here. So basically you got to go through this little mountain here. But if you go out the front side, it's a much more straightforward path and kind of gives you access to more of the map right out the gate. There's another one of my little wheel cars, which is nice because then you just fly down this hill, go off that way. A large chunk of the map is like some old ruined like Japanese town here. So this is probably my favorite map, honestly. It's snowy, it's got a lot going on. Lots of places to perch if you're an archer and shoot monsters. It's cool. But that's this base right here. So if we go, let's go look at the first base I built, which is way over here, kind of off to the side, the far right side of the map. Oh, we got a king tusk right there. So yeah, I have lost a few things here at this base before, so I'm not going to try to start a fight with them. But basically, I've got the basics. This tree kind of grew in after I built all this stuff, so fortunately I didn't have anything built there. But it's a pretty cool little location here. It's got some extra little fencing and whatnot. And I do have a grapple set up on this map as well. So let me show you guys a little bit of that. I'm kind of just doing this stuff because I'm sort of proud of these. These aren't as complicated as a lot of the bases in my base showcase, but they definitely trumped Monster Hunter in terms of like the camps, because you couldn't do any of this stuff with your camps in Monster Hunter, like build and whatnot. So I'm enjoying it. And obviously, probably in the future, I'm gonna pick one camp and I'm just gonna go crazy on it and try to just make it as extravagant as I can. But I built that little line to get over here to where this tree is nearby, and then that puts you right about here. So I just jumped from there to here. So that I probably will build another grapple maybe off of here at some point, just going somewhere, maybe like towards the ground or something. I don't know yet. It's mainly here for the tree, but yeah, I think I'm gonna build one more grapple here, maybe kind of shoot me down in this direction a little bit more. But let's go to this base. This is the hidden base in this map. You just come across it, and same thing as the hidden base in the last map. You can build a tent here for virtually nothing. And this one's really cool. I'll show you guys kind of what I did here. You do kind of have some kimono fights down here. So, oh, actually, I remember what's going on with my grapple now. So let's put a bookmark in this base, because I want to show you guys I have another easy way to get here. I try to keep some of my bases connected, as I mentioned previously. I just kind of forgot how this one worked. But so you come here, and I've got this grapple, right? We saw that one a second ago. I can fly over this guy, ignore him. And then it's going to kind of drop me right about here. Now, I don't know what's going on with this grapple. It appears to be destroyed, and I have no idea how or why. Oh, it looks like it's fixing itself now. Well, that was odd. But anyway, let me take this grapple. And then this is going to drop me right here in the front yard of where we literally just were. So that base pretty much connected to this base, except for the fact that it's up there. So now I've got one of these built. This is another thing you can build later. These are pretty useful for this. Kind of pop me up here. Take my little glider the rest of the way. Now let's go in here. This is this whole empty space here you could build in. Definitely need to do more with this. You got a little back door there. The stairs here kind of go down to this bottom level if you want to use that. But obviously, you know, I built the little air chute to send me up here. And there's a little door here, which I blocked. And there's also a little door here. So you got this kind of back room. This is what's really cool about this. And this is where I kind of built my camp here, as you can see. The most basics. Probably gonna have to come back and put some more stuff here eventually, especially because this area is really safe. Nothing really comes in here. You kind of got your back section here. Now I want to show you guys my final base, which is my favorite one. And I'm going to kind of show you guys a little bit more of the grapple system. We saw how that base connected to this base, but yet there's another line here. So let's take this one, and it's going to pop me over here to this rooftop right here. Okay, well, yeah. See, that's why you don't want to do that. I fortunately had the little glider, which is going to help me get back, but if I didn't have that, yeah, I would have just had to do this whole thing again. But we got it connected to this little launcher, this line, so let's take this one. And that's going to pop me over here. I'll go up here. There should be another one. Yeah, there it is right there. But yeah, so I've kind of got some rooftops linked up. So if you look where we're at now, we were at that base, so now I'm over here. So I'm slowly kind of working my way up to the tallest building, which is that one right there, and that's where my base is. It's a great location, and I'm going to show you guys in just a second here as we get to the final checkpoint. This line goes directly up to the base, which is where we're heading next, and then I just want to show you guys, I built this one just because there's a healing tree down there, and just to, in case I wanted to go more in this direction, this grapple is going to take us to right about there, so I could get into the top part of the cave, giving me pretty well. I've got probably the best access to this map. Honestly, it's got a pretty good system going here. But let's go all the way to the top. Look at the final base here. And this is what I consider my main base. Totally walled it in, as you guys can see, but normally this is kind of similar to the previous base we looked at. It's got a nice big little opening here to the inside of this building. I'm not really 100% sure if you can get up here by foot. I'm sure you can, but I don't do that anymore. If I ever did, and there's a tree. But you come in this little door here, and you kind of got this empty space without all these walls. So as you can see, I kind of built, you know, my basics like usual. I walled everything in, kind of tried to make it a little bit more homey. And I've got some animals here. I'm going to probably have like a whole little collection of animals up here eventually. I'm really going to try to make this base fancy. Awesome view, and even without all the little zip lines and stuff, you could pretty much glide from here and go a great distance. So this is a really good base. I strongly recommend building here. I mean, a lot of the bases, it's kind of just about preference, but just the access you get from this location is so convenient. I don't think anyone can deny this location. It's a great base, so I would recommend building here. But that's my base on that one. We've got one more area to go to, the Sacred Mountain, the 5th area, which isn't really a full area like the rest of them, but I'm gonna go ahead and just give you guys a little tease of it anyway, show you guys it. But before we do that, that's gonna be the final part of the video here. I wanted to catch you guys up on a little bit of this. This is the skill tree for all your various different craftable stuff you can build. As you guys can see, there's a lot of stuff I don't have. A lot of stuff like this. Some of these things automatically unlock from fighting certain monsters. And then, as you can see, you work your way down the skill tree with your little, your points you get from hunting monsters to unlock the rest. What's cool, though, is so, like, say this little icon right here that's, like, halfway down, once this one unlocks, this is one that unlocks from fighting a monster, you can access all the nodes that are directly connected to it. So let's say I stopped like up here and it didn't have any of these nodes, but I wanted to get one that's way down there. I could stop here, and then once this unlocks, I could start unlocking nodes like from here and then just work my way further down the tree. So that's pretty useful as long as you know what you're going for and what to unlock. I think I pretty much have just about everything I want at this point. I'm only missing 2 things. I want this gate here, which isn't necessary. It's more for decoration, and I need this vermilion fermenting cask, basically just a barrel for doing more stuff with food. But that's pretty much it. Other than that, I'm just working on upgrades. As you can see, I'm going to have to show you guys a little bit more gameplay in the follow-up video where I hunt the endgame monsters, probably the next video I'm going to do in a week or two. And I'll show you guys some of my tools and how I use them in combat. But basically, I use this little device right here, which it spawns a little doorway. You walk through it and you get a shield, which will negate an attack from a monster. And then you can upgrade your various different stuff. So like this skill right here is a direct upgrade to this. And then like this skill up here is a direct upgrade to the healing mist, another skill I have, which is further up the tree. But I need to get this one because it's a great boost. And it's basically drops a little item on the ground that spits out kind of a healing mist and heals you and all your fellow hunters within its range, basically. And as you hold this option right here, which is how you would normally build all your, like, these walls and my glider and stuff. If you look up in the upper right corner, based on the combination of tools you have, you're able to summon fusion tools, karakuri, whatever it's called. Now, the fusion options you have there will be based on the tools that you're carrying, so keep that in mind. But, like, I'll show you guys the healing mist, which is just okay, well, I can't show it to you guys because I don't have enough of the thread. So let me get a little bit more of the thread, which on this map is the blue rock here. Conveniently, there's one right here in my base. But yeah, the fusions also cost thread as well. But here is the health thing. You just follow the button command, which for the healing mist is pushing A 3 times. And then, yeah, this is the little healing mist. You can also build the bulwark, which is the basic wall you saw me use in a previous video. The celestial shield, which is what I was talking about. It's a doorway you walk through, get a shield. And then I also have a little automated repeating crossbow. You guys are going to see me use those 2 items in the next video, but I just wanted to let you guys know kind of what I'm rolling with. There are other options. Some of them look pretty cool, but I haven't experimented a whole lot. I've got a lot more of those skills to unlock. But the only other thing I want to show you guys before we go to the last area and finish out this video is a quick little look at some of the armor here. If you look at the weapon there, I'm not going to focus really on the weapons, but there is a massive weapon tree, and I'm not even that far in it. I've got 4 different weapons built. 2 are bows, which is my main weapon, and I kind of try to go with different elements for every weapon so that if someone's resistant to one, I have a counter option. But as you can see, it goes down pretty far. This is where the real grind in the end game comes in, is trying to get your weapons to where you want, because this requires a lot of resources, as you guys can see. But the more exciting element is the armor here. So I'm just kind of... There's so much armor, really, and there's so much still I don't have unlocked, so I'm kind of just going through them real quick. Maybe you guys will get a quick little glimpse of something you think's really cool. You can pause the video and see what resources you need for it. But basically, each new monster unlocks a new set of armor, and you can't really see the shoes much, so sorry about that. But each new monster unlocks a new set of armor, and each armor has basically 2 different ways that you can upgrade it. There's the human path and the kimono path, and you have to choose one or the other. So, like, let's find a cool one. Like this one. This is pretty cool. See the chest piece? If I go to the human path and then the kimono path, it slightly changes its stats and how it looks. I found the kimono path is usually the way to go personally, but it depends. But so each little type of armor you can get has 2 different types of upgrades, and they do slightly physically change how they look sometimes. So some of them end up looking a little cooler, some of them end up looking a little lamer, but that's all about personal preference. And of course, at the end of the day, you're mainly looking for stuff that's gonna give you the stats you want. Now, what I'm wearing, I don't have the full set, but I have mostly the full set. I had to hunt the Fume Beak for what I am wearing, which is a character you've come across maybe about halfway through the game. I kind of like his human option because it gets a cape. I might get that at some point, but as you can see, I went the kimono path, and that's why I have the wings on my armor there. Pretty cool. I think the helmet I have is for the spine glider. Just thought it looked really good with the armor. I'm pretty much due for an upgrade. I'm about to start my second phase of heavy armor grinding in the game. I'm kind of to the point where I'm starting to take a little too much damage, and I'm due for an upgrade. I believe I should still have at least 1 set of armor to unlock from the endgame dragon. I have no idea what his stuff's going to look like, so I'm pretty excited. But as you do start fighting the variants of different monsters, they do unlock different sets of armor. The only thing is, if they don't look a whole lot different from their original sets, but yeah, that's pretty much that. I believe Deathstalker armor is pretty good. Yeah, White Fang. Yeah, I don't even think White Fang armor can be crafted with basic level stuff. Hang on. Oh, here we go. Yeah, so this is kind of where I'm at currently. The White Fang, which is the Golden Tiger thing. I kind of like... I'm not a big fan of this type of red, but I really like the little things hanging off his armor there. I might build some of his armor, but I really like this one, which is probably going to be my next set. You get this from the Ember Plume, the giant peacock thing. Starts off as like a little dress, which eventually will become more of like a sash. So that's what I'm kind of going for right there. So hopefully this will be my look eventually. I will probably build the chest piece as well, but I don't know if I'll wear it. But I'm definitely going to probably rock like this. Pretty big stat increase for me too, so win-win-win. I kind of like this one better with a little bit more of the armor in the center there. Yeah, that's dope. But that's pretty much my plan for armor. That's what my grind's going to be, is for that stuff and getting all that maxed out and show you guys a little bit of armor. But now let's go check out the Sacred Island. There's a lot more stuff I could tell you guys and plenty of monsters to hunt. You guys will have to do some of that in your own time. I definitely encourage playing this game. We need more monster hunters here. But let's go ahead and go to the Sacred Island here. And this is the little starting camp they give you. You got your tent. This stuff is already here, actually. This is my first time being here with you guys, so I haven't built anything yet. So we got basics there. Not as secure of a camp, but looks like we kind of got like a rainy sort of cliffside here. Some eerie voices. But let's look at the map here, because I haven't really revealed it yet. I'm assuming there's only this one camp here. You can kind of wander off in this direction. Looks like there's a little bit of map to explore there. And then there's also a path that's going to go up here towards the top of the mountain. Now the boss dragon's probably going to be over here somewhere. Looks like he has a little bit of space to move around. But that's pretty much it for there. There's not much to show you guys on the Sacred Island. Let's go ahead and... I have to use a stake to climb that, which is a specific tool you can get. Which actually, that's sort of weird. It's like they already have some stakes. Yeah, you gotta do this carefully. There you go, that's my first time using a stake. You should be able to get your own as well. Alright, I made it up top. I don't know what this is, another forge? Does that mean I can build another tent? Yeah, I need 45. Yeah, see, I don't have anywhere near enough to build a tent, so... I'm assuming that this island does have its own resources. Every island has different resources, for the most part, so it's definitely worth doing like a recon run here and there every time you get to a new area to try and grab some of the resources. But let's see, we're going up here. Uh-oh, doesn't look like they hooked me up as well on this one. Let's pop that one there. Try to grab onto this. Place another one somewhere. There we go. That worked out. More thread so I can build more stakes. I might be able to just... Yeah. This map's very scripted and they don't want you messing around apparently. So let's guess we'll do a little jumpy box. Alright, can't get up there, so I need more thread, which is right here conveniently. Alright. Alright. Yeah, so there's not really much here to show you guys. It's just making my way to like the end here. So I think once I get to the top of the mountain here, we're going to go ahead and end the video. I'm going to leave you guys on a little cliffhanger because my following video is going to be where I take this guy on. This guy is a dragon, and he's the one causing all this rain. He should be the last boss of the game. Technically, he's the third boss that you fight, but he should be the last monster / boss. I don't know if they're going to do DLC for this game. I would hope so. But follow me on Instagram for the scoop on all that if they do anything. But right now, this is all we got to work with. Okay. Fortunately, they leave these kind of all over the place for you. Get this one too, just in case. Yeah, I was full anyway. Alright. Should have known that wasn't gonna work. Well, we're getting there. Slowly but surely. Stamina to come back. Oh, I believe we've reached the top. So we are here, officially the Sacred Mountain. I guess he was climbing for a good minute, because now we're above the clouds. But let's see what the map has to say now. Okay, now it looks like we get to access that other portion of the map, which is like way over there. So you start off in kind of a tiny little space. It wants you to climb the mountain. And you get up here, and it's actually kind of a pretty majestic view, to be honest. I like the stuff that's up here. It doesn't look like we're going to be able to build an extra camp. I was hoping to maybe at least build one more camp here. I mean, you wouldn't be able to do too much with it anyway, because since there's not a lot of stuff going on here, you can't really upgrade your capacity to be able to build a very extravagant base, but still. Plenty of resources to mine and stuff. I'm wondering if I need to get over there, or if I'm just following the path here. Yeah, it looks like I'm going up that way. This is all kind of just to look at. It's more visual than anything. This map's not as accessible as like the previous maps where you can pretty much go anywhere you see. At the end of this, we're probably going to get to the dragon. I'll let a little teaser scene play for you guys, just so you guys have an idea of what's at the top of this mountain. And that's where I'm going to have to leave you guys. If you want to see me fight the dragon, definitely check out my next video, because I will probably be taking on the dragon and probably something else. I like to do at least 2 monsters per video of my little clippies. Maybe 3 even. We'll have to see kind of what I come across and what I end up grinding and what I think's worth good gameplay. But either way, they're just going to be clips. This is my last full video for this game unless they do DLC. But the clips show you really all you need to do. I'm gonna fight a couple new monsters. And between the couple videos that I've put out, you guys will get to see several of the monsters in the game. And then I'll show you guys some of the tools that I'm using. Well, again, won't be all the tools, because there's other ones available. There's like this epic-looking cannon thing that I'm not actually sure how to unlock, but that's something that I want to get eventually. But there's other tools. Let me know in the comments, you know, kind of what your preferences for this game are, what your favorite tools are, where your favorite base locations are. Maybe if you learned anything from my base locations. I thought I found at least a couple pretty good spots, and the way I was doing the line hooks and everything. Maybe you guys will learn something from that. The bridges, the walls. It's maybe some handy tips in there. But that's a little well, as you just saw right there. So that's what happens when you find one of those. You built a little thing. It's for free. Looks like we've got another little checkpoint here. And since we just built that health well there, I'm pretty sure we're right about here at the end. We're about to face the dragon. Make sure you guys are clicking that bell, liking the video, subscribing to the channel as always. That helps me out a great deal. And you guys are going to want to be there for the follow-up video, because that one's going to be pretty intense. There we go. I was like, you gonna let me mine that rock? Alright, one more try here. Let's go. Up. And up. Chicow. Alright. We're almost at the top. Let's see this ferocious dragon. And that's pretty much it for the 5th area, obviously. As you guys saw, there's not a whole lot to really tell on this map. It's pretty much just climbing the mountain, and that really seems to be about all there is. But I mean, four good maps is pretty good for the game, so I can't really complain. Looks like we have arrived. This is where we're going to be fighting the dragon, so I'm going to go ahead and let this little scene play. Thanks for watching, as always, guys. I'll catch you in the next one. Make sure you guys are there. We're going to be taking on this here monstrosity.